What's going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut for Heartland Sports. And today we'll be discussing a rather infamous trade, at least in Canada, or Toronto specifically, the R.A. Dickey trade, which occurred on December 16th, 2012. So this was a rather interesting trade, as we all know. And basically what happened is the Mets were going into a little bit of a rebuild again. They didn't need R.A. Dickey. He was older. He's late 30s. He's in his mid to late 30s at this point. And the Blue Jays felt that they were one, maybe two players away from contention. So they wanted to get a player now rather than wait. So basically, the Blue Jays would acquire starting pitcher R.A. Dickey, obviously, and a pair of catchers in Josh Stoll and Mike Nickias. So R.A. Dickey, he had a couple of strong seasons in Toronto, but his win-loss record really started to suffer because the team started to suffer. So he had a solid 4-year career there, but, he was near the end of his career. He was one of the better defensive pitchers, though. As for Josh Stoll, he spent 4 years as the backup catcher in Toronto, so he didn't get too much playing time. And Mike Nickias, he would only appear in one game for the Blue Jays, and then he would retire because he got demoted. He wasn't necessarily a big name, so. Now, how did the New York Mets do on this trade? Well, the big name that they acquired was Noah Syndergaard, the starting pitcher. He was a prospect at this point, and we all know Thor. They would also acquire catcher/first baseman Travis Denard, catcher John Buck, and outfielder Wilmer Becerra. So, how did these four guys pan out? Well, we all know Syndergaard, like I said. He's been very good when healthy. He's clearly the Mets' number 2 pitcher behind Jake DeGrom, and everyone loves him. He's Thor, okay? I'm a Phillies fan. I don't have a problem with him. He's been a very good player, but again, when healthy, he's had 3 seasons, including 2020, where he's just not played well, if at all. He's played very few games. Travis Denard, we'll get to him in another video, but, the Blue Jays had acquired him in a previous trade, and they liked him, but Denard, didn't develop as much as he could have. He was a serviceable, albeit average catcher for 6+ years for the Mets before they DFA'd him during the 2019 season. Wilmer Becerra, I'm just going to get him out of the way too. He never made it above high A, so a relevant player. Now, John Buck ends up leading into the rest of this. So you could thank John Buck for this being more than a 2-second video. So the New York Mets, out of John Buck, though, he was a starting catcher for half a season for the Mets. He was decent. But then the Mets would flip him along with outfielder Marlon Byrd to the Pittsburgh Pirates in exchange for second baseman Dilson Herrera and pitcher Vic Black. Now, the Pirates end of things, Buck basically spent a month as the Pirates' backup catcher because the Pirates were in the playoffs and they wanted an experienced catcher. Other than that, he was decent but left. And Marlon Byrd played really well for that 1 month. And then he ended up, there was a whole thing going where the Pirates thought they had re-signed him. And then the deal got canceled and he ends up going to the Phillies. I just remember that whole mess of a scenario. So, yeah. Now, as for the Mets, Vic Black, he bounced around due to injuries and struggles for 3 years for the Mets. And Dilson Herrera, he would also bounce around between AAA and Major League Baseball for 2.5 seasons before being traded. And he's traded to the Cincinnati Reds alongside pitcher Max Wotel for outfielder Jay Bruce. Now, on the Reds ends of things, Dilson Herrera, he spent most of his 2.5-year tenure in Cincinnati in AAA, and Wotel never made the majors. While Jay Bruce, he was, okay in one full season. He played a half season here and he played just a full season. And, he wasn't elite. He wasn't what they thought they were going to get. But then he was going to be a free agent, so they end up flipping Jay Bruce to the Cleveland team in exchange for relief pitcher Ryder Ryan. Now, Jay Bruce, he played decent for Cleveland. it was just for 2 months, so you couldn't really do all that much. Well, Ryder Ryan, he never made it past the minors. So who's the clear winner in this trade? I think it goes without saying. New York. New York, New York, New York. Literally, Noah Syndergaard has a better WAR than everybody else combined. So the Mets win this trade hands down. They got a 21.4 WAR, and Syndergaard still has a bright future. Toronto had a 4.9 WAR, so nothing great. Pittsburgh got a 1.0 WAR. Cleveland got a 0.3, and Cincinnati, the only losing team, got a negative 0.2 WAR. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like these videos, these trade breakdowns, definitely make sure to like and subscribe. Have a great rest of your day.